Yo, 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 yo. Raid incoming. How dare you spoil the raid? Raid should be coming in a sec. Let me post that we are live in the Discord and on Twitter, and then we are chilling. Oh my god, not Giga, thank you for the raid. I'm posting on the Twitter and the Discord. I'm posting.
Raid.
Okay, and I'm putting
Not
a note.
GEEGA send us here.
She sure did. I'm putting in notes. Any day where I intend to do this for sure, I will post it in the announcements channel in the Discord. But if I intend to go live, chat for like just an hour, and then get into game, right? Like I have a time frame in mind. I'm not just chatting until I feel like I'm done. I'm gonna say that in the Discord just to manage expectations. I think that'll help. So days where I pick the game beforehand, or I just know what we're doing, or I've maybe announced previously what game we're gonna play, or you know, something. I'll do that because I know I don't put like big elaborate schedules up. I've just left the same schedule post up for weeks and not put a new one because the schedule is the same week to week, really. And I haven't been scheduling in specific games on specific days so much as going, we'll just continue these ones and do whatever, right? Which usually is what people prefer anyway. We just vote on that day or something. But yeah, when I go live, or I'll just say in announcements, I'll be like, yeah, I think tomorrow we'll play this, chat for an hour and then play it or whatever. I'm also gonna get more in the habit of chatting for a fixed time, like exactly on the hour or on 2 hours starting a game. So that way you know like when you can check in to see if I'm gaming, right? And just it's the same thing, just slightly more structured, just with that expectation. Okay, Ada's gonna play. I'm gonna go refill water. I'll be back. Bye.
Thanks to @MrBite for my sub gift. A raid from Totally Not GEEGA's other channel that is dedicated to her addiction to GTA 5.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't get up from my chair. I heard that. As a side note, I want to remind, while I do love GTA 5, and I do love playing it, I want us to reduce jokes about anything related to it. Or not jokes, memes? Because there are people who still think that I only play GTA on this channel or something. Even though I haven't done so for months. Because of the memes. Becky! Look at that. You got a channel named Yutori Peke. Look at that. It's an imposter. It's an imposter. Reporting you to the police. I think someone who changed their name. I don't know. I can't tell. Okay, anyway, let me go refill my water. I'll be back.
gifted a tier 1 sub to the Housemaster. They have given 44 gift subs in the channel.
By the way, thank you for the art, Giga. I love it. Are you trying to RP that you're Peke? Or are you saying this as a fan? like what art? What art? Because Peke's URL is Peke is Peak. I'm gonna share those. I'm gonna share them. Give me a sec. Hold on, let me check something. I'm checking some shit. I'm checking some shit. What did I do to Neil? I'm not fucking talking to you. I was talking about someone else. Talking about somebody else. It's not original pick. No. Nope. Okay, here. I was just grabbing their I was grabbing the new girls. I was grabbing Nova's URLs because I just wanted to spam them in chat a little bit. Make sure you guys know what their URLs were and are following them and all of that. Because it's been blasted out and posted out everywhere on Twitter, but not all of you use Twitter, so. Okay, let me get. I'm getting them. It's a good time to do this because there is a big old ad going on. And you know what? Maybe I'll just make a Nova command. Why don't I do that? Let me do that while this ad is running. So I'm just going to post that right now. Make sure you guys are following them. And let me open my Nightbot panel and set up a command so that we can, if anyone asks about them or I talk about them, you can just tap the command. And that way you can see their real URLs. Do exclamation point Nova. I'll make it so that everyone can use it. Cooldown 10 seconds. 10-second cooldown so people don't fucking spam it because it's kind of a long one. And now this should work. Yee-hoo! It doesn't have to be all caps for the record. It does not have to be. Okay. Command has been set up. I'll wait 50 seconds for the ad to be done, and then I'll show up. But there you go. If anyone's asking about it, or if I mention the girls or whatever, mods or anyone in chat should be able to use that command to pull up their usernames. If you yourself forget and you're like, oh shit, I don't remember what was Nagi's again, right? You could just use it so that you can have what you need. GEEGA. Hi, fruit. I was just making a command fruit for the Nova girls. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? We've posted their Twitch channels like everywhere on Twitter, but a lot of our fan base is very like Twitch focused. Like they don't even use Twitter, right? Like it's two separate groups almost. There's some crossover, but I know for me, a lot of my people are Discord and Twitch based and they don't really use Twitter much. So I figured spamming a command in the chat would help a lot more than me posting about it on Twitter, to be honest. Not that I'm not going to do both, but you know what I mean. It'd be effective. Very effective. And also to help not just advertise them, but do stuff with them. Something I was working on was yesterday I filmed a video with them. I've been doing a lot with just trying to push video content in general, but helping other people too. And I said, you know, why don't we do a video with Nova? So Hestia couldn't make it to that filming session, but she's still going to do the filming with me separately. So like the four of them will still be in the video, but the other three sat and filmed with me in a group. So that was good. There's their English. You'll see. I did not do the video in English though. Not really. We did not use English, so. But it's good. It's coming out pretty well. It was very nice. Use Korean? No. But they found out that I speak Korean because we talked about a lot of things. The video's not really going to be focused on me. I'm going to see if it's possible to even like edit me out almost entirely. You know, I was just there for the production and like recording part. They might still want to leave me in. We'll just see how the editing goes. But yeah, at some point the question was raised like something learning Japanese, blah blah blah, and I said like, you know, I have tried to learn in the past, but I've always had an issue with it because someone will say something and I'll open my mouth to reply, and because I'm really comfortable with Korean, the wrong words come out. And I've always done this. I used to be friends with a lot of exchange students. We'd all sit around a big room and, you know, a lot of us would teach each other languages and things. And I remember when one Japanese student got up, I did this to her all the time. I felt so bad. She was like, she'd be like doing a lesson. She'd be like, something, right? And everyone would be like, hi. And I'd be like, nah, oh, hi. And I would have to like fix that shit all the time. It's so hard because a lot of the words are the same or very similar in root. So when I'm speaking like quickly or my brain's just firing off, like the thing that comes to mind faster is the Korean version, not the Japanese version, right? So what's a good example? Junbi means ready in both. Junbi desho, right? Also junbi desu, both. Both sound very similar to so versus desho, right? It's like really easy to start your brain just like mixing those up. A lot of words I know because I was never taught a Japanese word. It's just that the root of it is the same. So I've been able to assume, oh, it probably means this because in Korean is really similar. It's like English and Spanish, right? Where there's a lot of similar roots kind of based off of Latin, right? So, yeah, I get very confused. Like I understand the meaning of a lot of what people are saying because I'll hear a lot of words that sound familiar to me and I'll be like, oh, they're probably saying this. But then when I try to answer, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to formulate this at all. It's so hard, man. When did you start learning Korean? A very long time ago. I feel like in recent years, I haven't really gotten to practice it much. I used it the most probably 15 years ago and prior, if I'm being honest. Like I was speaking the most more than 15 years ago, if I'm counting back properly. So since then, I haven't spoken it that much, to be honest. I've just used it here and there where necessary, and I hear it a lot, so my listening's pretty good. But it's not the same. It's not the same as being there and being immersed or being around people that speak it all the time and having to answer them all the time, right? But sometime after that, I was like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to learn Japanese as well. Shouldn't be too hard because I have a good firm basis, right? And then I kept getting that shit mixed up all the time. It's so hard. It's so hard, man. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Bit by bit, bit by bit. I don't know. There's just a lot of words where the root is the same. So at least like when we're sitting there and I was speaking to some of them, a lot of what they were saying, I was completely able to get the context of what they were saying. Not that I understood the exact sentence and all the structure and everything, but someone would be sitting there and go, "Do you need me to translate that?" And I would just be like, "No." And I would just say back what the girl said in English, and they'd be like, "Yep." Yeah, it was that. And I was like, okay, you know, just because you can figure out the context pretty easily based off of a question that I asked and then hearing a lot of root words that are really familiar and everything. So it at least gives me confidence that my listening will be a little all right to start off. But speaking, I really have to not let my brain get confused. It's so easy to fuck it up, man. It's so easy. Ugh, the beams get crossed all the time. But I'll work on it. I'll work on it. It gives me a good excuse to work on it. Nagi wants to play Apex with me so badly. We talked about a lot of things. I talked about what games people like. And they all like a lot of different games. But you know, you could see she has like a gun on her design and everything. She was like, "Do you play games like this?" She was like, "I like a lot of things that, you know, are multiplayer or like have PvP. What do you play in that realm?" And I was trying to think of what I could play that I could also play with someone in Japan. And I was like giving the different the list of things, you know. One of them on there was Apex, and she was like, "Oh, who do you like to play?" And we were talking. I basically told her, "Hey, I'll gladly play Fuse because I can press Q even with bad ping, and I'll be fine." Battle Royale and a slight language barrier, golden clips. Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I don't know. Normally I don't play that kind of stuff on stream, but hey, if I'm playing with someone else, gladly. Or especially if it's like, you know, 3 a.m. and she calls me up and is like, "It's time," you know. It's wild how popular it is in Japan. Even people that don't play a lot of FPS games over there still play Apex. It's like the one that they will play. Because the whole community around it is just really strong over there. I'd reinstall to play with you. I haven't reinstalled it in a while, but I was thinking about it, Fruit. I was like, you know, I'm feeling the itch again. I'm feeling it. We could 3-stack, Fruit. We could 3-stack. I told them when I was filming with them, I was like, you know, Fruit's really good at FPS. I was gassing you up. It was cute though. We worked on that. I have to film with Hestia as well. And then we're chilling. Then I throw it at my editors. I have one editor who speaks Japanese really well. So me being able to do content with them is like actually really easy. Actually really easy because I have that. I was so concerned. I was like, oh my god, if some of them are going to be sitting there answering in Japanese, I mean, how do I hand that to my editor, which my main editor is Brazilian. Okay, so speaks English and Brazilian Portuguese. So if I hand this footage over, I mean, what the hell is he gonna do with it, right? And then I was talking to one of my other editors, and my other editor was like, you know, I'm like one level below full fluency, right? Like the Japanese levels when you test. I was like, no, I didn't know that actually. He was like, yeah. I was like, fuck, okay. So that's good. That's great. That means we could subtitle anything. Yeah, the scale. Yeah, exactly. He was like, yeah, I like tested near fluent. I was like, what the fuck? We could have been doing this the whole time. Yeah, but good to know. Good to know. So yeah, so we worked on stuff last night, and then we just hung out. It was nice. It was nice. We're gonna do lots of content. Lots of content. Editor's a weeb. Editor is someone who has lived there for a long time, actually. I would say. They excited yet? They are. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, they are excited. They are nervous. Some more nervous than others, for sure. And I was, I was saying to them, like, it's a big deal showing up out of nowhere. And especially with the whole context of, like, we haven't really had that many JP members. And the ones that we do have, for the most part, have been people that speak English really, really, really well. And some of them even do a lot of content. Like, Henya does almost all of her content in English. She doesn't do Japanese content for the most part, So it's definitely, it's something different. I don't think Vshojo is really, really pushed before to be like to carve out a huge space in any other community, right? It's always just been very EN focused. And then any JP members that had their own space kind of already had their own space there. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it could be very nerve-wracking. And I want people to remember that just because you're joining Vshojo doesn't mean you're not kind of starting from zero, right? Especially if it's not super EN focused. So, that's just something that's very interesting. And Vshojo's not a company that already has such a huge presence in Japan that they could just throw anyone out there and boom, it works, right? Like, you have to really grind, you have to work for it. So it's something that, I mean, they didn't say that. That was just kind of my thoughts on it, right? Like, it will be a bit of an effort that will have to be made, but I think that's nice, right? It's exciting too, because they get to be the forefront of it. They get to make it happen how they want it to happen. So it's cool. Remember back when Vshojo said they wouldn't do gens or the senpai kohai thing? I mean, here's the thing. If someone is from Japan and they're saying senpai kohai, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what you do in the workplace over there. If they didn't, they'd be really fucking rude, is how they feel, right? But like that's so you have to do that over there, right? If they join a company and they don't call someone senpai, they'd be considered super rude. Now, because we were not founded on JP members at all, it made absolutely no sense for us to do that. So that's why we said we wouldn't do that. Right? Because why would we model ourselves after that if that's not what the workplace is? But if you do add people who are from there, then I'm not going to be like, don't say that. We don't do that here. That's just literally them doing it because it makes sense, right? So it's not, I don't know. It's not that important anyway. It's not that deep, but yeah. And then with gens or waves or whatever, we've never felt the need to, but at the same time, if people want to do that, they can. It's really by choice. It's by choice. And I think it works. What does that mean? Would it be the same as it was before on the EN side? Would what be the same as what? What was before? What does that mean? Please expand your question with specifics. And he has incredible effort to explain things about the NGP is super helpful for those of us learning Japanese too. It's nice, right? It's nice to have. A lot of people have said that they really enjoy being able to casually learn, casually absorb that info instead of just sitting down for an entire lesson. The newcomers gen. Yeah, we weren't a gen, but we liked to get some art together and do some things. So it felt like that because I think that's just kind of what they're used to. So it was nice. It was nice. Feels like a good call to do it if they're breaking into a new space like they are with Nova. Yeah, exactly. I like, it's very different. Like, me being part of a gen makes no sense because I am here. I have been me for a very long time. I grew as me and then joined. So putting me in a gen is weird. But if I were not me and I join and I'm just like new, or if I had never streamed before, then it absolutely makes sense to put someone in gen, because then they kind of need the support a little bit. So, you know, it's a lot to do with each individual person's situation, right? Does that make sense? So in the past, you know, because of who we've recruited in and stuff, it didn't make sense to do it, but it just depends, man. It depends. I also feel like so people, it sounds like they've taken like old comments about people being like, oh yeah, we don't really do gens or whatever, as us being like, we hate gens, they're stupid, which is like not not at all it. So then when we do one, people are like, I can't believe it, and I'm like, it was never deep. What's going on? It confuses me when I see it. I'm like, what's happening? How dare you? Yeah, it's just that there was no need before because of the specific people, right? It made no sense. Exactly. Is the Ian debut going to be a wave as well? I have no clue. I have no information on that. There's no timeline. I don't think there is a decision on that at all, actually. I don't think anyone has decided if they want to do that or not or anything like that. And in my experience joining as an EN member, you're just given the choice. You're just asked, yo, do you want like your own thing? Or like, would you rather, if someone else were to join within however long from you, would you rather wait and join with them? Like, what do you want on that? And that was a discussion and a conversation that we came to a conclusion that I was like, nah, I'll do my own day. That's just how that worked. So, you know, it's really a play it by ear and see what the people who are joining want kind of thing. It's not the company doesn't like make a decision and then fit people into it. Does that make sense? Or they have never done that. To me or like any of the EN people. For sure. For sure. People love to hold Vshojo to unexciting standards. Yeah, standards like, they never do gens. Who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know, man. Mighty Z-Man said, hello, just want to say hi, and then I just started watching you after finding your YouTube channel. Thank you. Appreciate the talk to do with other Vshojo members. How much good the company does for their talent. Keep up the gore. Thank you. Yeah, the video that we posted the other day with Michi, it's doing really well. I woke up this morning and my editor was just posting and he was like, look at it go. I don't know. It's very exciting, not just for me, but for like the editing team, especially, to look at this stuff and be like, okay, people really liked this one. You know, how can we keep doing this? Was the video itself? Was it how we marketed it? Was it like, what is it, you know? But yeah, basically in a day, it's over 100K, which is crazy. Absolutely insane. Average view duration is very high, which means people actually, you know, are actually watching it through. Yeah, the full recording's in the members section. Yeah. If you get a membership, you can then see the full length episode. So we don't really edit it much. We cut out anything that needed to be cut out, but that's about it. So if you want to watch the longer one, it's basically like a podcast episode, right? Instead of the shorter for YouTube episode that I post on main, it's essentially a podcast. So yeah, that's there, but it's doing so well, and it keeps like speeding up. Which is crazy if I look at how it's doing. It's ramping up, which is insane. So I'm just glad people like it. I'm glad people like it. Though I will say, I think from a lot of the comments, it's people are time looping on some of the same conversations that they love to have about Michi over and over and over. Michi reacted and commentated on the whole video on stream. She didn't remember saying most of what's in the video. Yeah, she doesn't remember what she had for lunch 2 days ago. So I get her. I didn't remember either. I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, we did talk about that, huh? I even watched it like 2 times through because I was doing review with the editor on what content was making it into the final video and I still forgot. That's just how it goes, man. That's how it goes. It was funny. When does a content creator decide to change the thumbnail on a video? To change? I don't know. If it needs changing, they change it. I decided on what I wanted the thumbnails vibe and titles vibe to be right after filming. That's usually when I do that. I sit down and I film with someone, and then I think about what we talked about, and I go, I think people would be most interested in this part of what we talked about. And then I come up with a potential list of titles and thumbnail ideas and things and lay it out there, and then throw it at the editing team, and they kind of workshop it with me. And then whatever artist is going to be drawing a thumbnail, or whoever's going to be editing one, from there, some an artist will start sketching, and we just do it from there. So while it's being edited, I usually have that stuff done. There are times where before I even film something, I already know what video I'm making. I know what the title and thumbnail will be, and I go into it saying, we're going to make this video. It's going to be called this. The thumbnail will look sort of like this. Let's do it, right? Because I already know the activity. So, yeah. There are times where we do that. There are other times where I can't even decide on what I want to title it until literally the day that we post it, because I just can't, like, I'm cooking on it, but I can't nail down the perfect, like, short title or whatever. But yeah. Some typos, though. Yeah, I threw, I have one more person that I'm throwing on there to do, like, spell checks and grammar checks and stuff, but whatever. You guys know what they mean. You know what I mean? Do you do the A/B thumbnail testing thing? Oh, yeah, I have two. I have two thumbnails, actually. You want to see the other one? I saw several people comment, and they're like, contract is spelled wrong in the thumbnail. And I'm like, who? That's the point. Like, the R was even written backwards. It said contract, and it had a backwards R. Like, it's very obviously supposed to be spelled poorly. And they were saying it like maybe we didn't notice. Come on, man. Of course. It's on purpose. Let me see. Where did I save these thumbnails? Yeah, here's the... Oh, it's huge. This is the OG. See that? Thank you, Alfie, for the art. This is correct. That's one. Gotta find the other one. I don't think I saved it. I think I left it in Discord. Yeah, I think it did. Let me grab it for you. So that's one. I'll just screenshot this one so it keeps it better quality. And then the other thumbnail. So we did two that were very similar. See that? So I used the little A/B testing feature. You might have seen one of these. You might not have seen both. And people are like, oh, when did you change it? I didn't change it. I uploaded both, or my editor, I should say, uploaded both. And they're both thrown in there so that it just randomly kind of sends out one half of people and another to the other half of people. YouTube has this nice little feature where you send them out, and then it gives you data to let you know which one people were clicking on more. So you could just, if you want, if it's like not half and half, right, one is very heavily being clicked on, then you take the one that people are looking at and clicking on, and you can just make that the main. Or you could just leave both. Yeah. But I like how they came out. I like both of them. The art on them is really cute. The art's really nice. I like the way Alfie draws us. Came out good. Came out good. So both of them, one on mobile, one on desktop. Yeah, sometimes it does like that to the same user, right? It's interesting. Yeah, it is thumbnail A/B testing. They added this a while back, and it's really nice because I think one of the hardest things about doing stuff with YouTube is just picking your title and thumbnail. It's so hard. It's so fucking hard to choose the final. And cause I'll be honest, your editing or your content needs to be good if you want people to keep coming back to subscribe to the channel, whatever. But to just get clicks, it has nothing to do with anything other than, is your title and thumbnail good? Does it get people to click? No one knows what's behind that. They do not know what's behind that click. You just have to make the title thumbnail enticing. So it's arguably, in my opinion, it's more important to nail that down on in a vacuum, just on a singular video. If we're not talking about like long-term stuff, just short-term. To get one video to do well, it's more important to get the title and thumbnail to be good than it is to even have the video be good at all, which is, you know, kind of sad, but that's how it is. And so like you'll sit there and agonize and loop in your head over and over on different ideas and, you know, try and get like the right one. So when they added the thumbnail A/B testing, I was really relieved because I was, thank fucking God, because we usually have two that we kind of whittle it down to and then we can't decide. So being able to put two of them up there to begin with is really relieving. Really, really, really relieving. And then obviously, if you want people to come back and you want to build a subscriber base and have your channel be successful, your content has to be good, yes. But to get new people to just try it ever, it has to be the title thumbnail, which is a little scary. A little scary. Yeah, it's psychological, kind of like predicting the stock market. Not like predicting the stock market. It's more, it's just marketing. It's just marketing. For sure. But yeah, it can be really hard to nail that down. But at the same time, I like it. I don't know. One of my favorite things to do is to sit there and watch a video that we have that's almost done being edited and just start thinking about what we could call it, what we could title it. Because obviously you want to get people to click, but I don't want to clickbait super hard in that the title has nothing to do with the video, right? Like in this, the title sounds super spooky. Ooh, you click on it. The video is us talking about that though, right? It's just, you know, we obviously focus the title on the most sensationalized version we can of it, but without it being untrue, right? We still leave it within that realm of this still happens in the video though, because I don't want people to click and then feel scammed, right? I don't want them to click and be like, they didn't even talk about that, right? But yeah, doing that stuff, it's really fun to try and like pick the best title within what still makes sense for the channel and what makes sense for the video. It's like a fun puzzle game for me. If I'm being honest, it feels very much like a puzzle. It's only clickbait if you don't deliver on what you promised. Exactly. Because the title of this one was like the Vshojo almost didn't let her sign the contract, right? It's referring to the contract, which we talk about that. Basically, she was ready to just sign it, and they were like, no, you have to get a lawyer and read over the contract. You shouldn't just sign it like that. And she, you know, so we talked about her learning about the right practices with that stuff. And that was a lot of that. So that's why the title is what it is, because a big part of our conversation was on, I just kind of asked her what it was like joining, right? What was that process like for her? To see if it was like, you know, similar to mine or whatever. And yeah, a lot of it was kind of she was ready to just sign just immediately, and the company was like, no, you're gonna get a lawyer and you're gonna sit down with this, you're not gonna just sign it. So yeah. It's funny, but when she was talking about it, I was like, that would make a great title. That moment would make a really good thing to kind of focus on for the title thumbnail. So we did it. Yeah, full send it. She was ready to do that. Well, I think it's also maybe a bit more of an American thing. I think in America it's a little more accessible. It's a little easier to just find all these corporate lawyers that you can bring in to check over work contracts and et cetera, et cetera. That's just easier. I think in other countries, other places, there maybe aren't so many people that do that. Or it's not as common of a practice. You just kind of skim it over yourself, right? Whereas in America, everyone's like, no, lawyer up. I don't know how common that is in other places and where it is common and where it isn't, right? So it's not always just a Vshojo thing. I think that's also a cultural thing. But that's just how it is when you work with an American company. You know, they can't say no to you saying, I want to have a lawyer look at this. That's like required. that they have to allow that anyway. So, you know, is what it is. But I sat down with my lawyer and my contract, and we sat there in calls and talked it over for a very long time, for many hours and hours, going back and forth. Hey, we wanted to revise this. What do you think of this? Hey, can we do it this way instead? Okay, let's talk about it. And it was just, you know, all these discussions over and over to finally nail it down. And it was a good process. Americans are used to getting screwed, while in some other countries the expectation is the courts won't make you do anything awful. Not necessarily. I think that happens everywhere. I don't know. As someone who's done a lot in business, I've seen everything, and it happens everywhere. If I'm being honest, it's just there's more of a culture in America of people hiring their own lawyers. In other countries, I know not all of them obviously, but there are some countries where I've had a client, let's say, not be able to afford a lawyer to look over something because in their country, hiring that type of service, it was so ridiculously expensive they could never hope to do it. So, whereas in America, can it still be expensive? Yes, but it was a lot more doable for an average person to hire, an hour of an attorney's time to just check something over. So that was also a factor, for sure. Less cultural, more just uncommon and expensive where they were from, right? So that could be it's just accessible here, which is nice. It's good to know people have some paralegal friends willing to help. Oh yeah. Because then, even if you're not hiring them under NDA, blah, 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 to look at something, you can ask them a hypothetical law question. Hey, what do you think about the legality of doing this or this? If I had a clause in a contract that said something along these lines, is that bad? Is that hard for me to get out of it? You can pose those kinds of questions to a friend that maybe has that sort of thing without breaking NDA and like telling them everything that's in your contract, right? It's definitely helpful. But if you're going to have them actually look something over, I mean, you should just hire them properly because they should be under NDA anyway. NDAs and non-competes are the most important ones. Yeah, and interestingly enough, in the US, you really can't enforce non-competes. It's very rare that there's any sort of non-compete clause that can even hold up in court in the US. Not at all. So if you're signing something in another country, the contract is from a company overseas, but you're in the US and there's a non-compete clause in there, they cannot enforce it here. They can't do it. There are only certain ones that they can. But they really can't for the most part. So, when you're signing stuff from another country, that's where the beams get crossed and get weird because, over there they might say, hey, you can't do this. But then over here, you can, right? It's interesting. They banned non-competes in the USA, but it got held up in court. There's certain things, that's why I'm saying not all cases. There's certain cases where it can make sense, and they're trying to figure out right now what's going on with that. And there's certain trials ongoing. There's certain bits of things happening where I think the outcome of some of these cases might then set a precedent for how they handle this stuff in the future. But for the most part, if there's some sort of non-compete clause and they're trying to enforce it on you, you should lawyer up and see if they actually can do that. You should consult a lawyer because there's a chance that this might not be something they can do anything with. This is not legal advice. You don't have to remind people of that because I'm not saying that it is. Some of the non-competes you've signed were so completely restricted that if they were enforceable, you'd basically never have a job again. Yeah, exactly right. Some companies, you'll work for them, and then they give you a non-compete clause in the contract that you sign that basically says you cannot work for anyone who makes a similar product ever. Now, sometimes it will be, hey, we are a company that makes snack bars. You cannot work for other companies that make snack bars that have layers of oats and chocolate on the bottom, right? And they'll get specific, right? Anything that mimics our product, you can't work in. There will be other companies that will say, hey, we make snack bars. You can't work for any company in the food industry ever. Like their non-compete will be that vague, which basically means that everything your career is based off of, you could never get a job in ever again, right? Sometimes they're just so shittily written that it's crazy. And it's stuff like that usually when people go to court, it doesn't hold up because the judge will be like, what, so you want this dude to never work ever again and completely get like a new resume together? What the fuck? And they'll often kind of throw that out and not let it hold up. But yeah, it depends. Obviously, sometimes it does still hold up depending on what's going on. But yeah, it can get a little crazy. And because it's so messy, that's why it's still not carved out whether you can even hold any of them up at all or not. It's still, that's still being debated right now in courts, because some people write them in a way that makes sense, like I said, like the former kind of example I gave, and then some will give like the latter example where it's just so vague that you're telling this person they can never work, which is crazy. That's crazy. Company you worked for had worded their non-compete such that you could not work in a company that used the same chemicals you worked with in the lab. Literally impossible. Right? I had one that I didn't sign, but they tried to put in front of me for a company a long time ago that was similarly crazy. It was to the extent that I couldn't, if they were able to get me to sign that and push that through, I would have never been able to work in like 5 different industries. Because they didn't do it by the industry, they did it by the exact type of work I was doing. And it wasn't that specific either. It was a little vague. And I was like, hey, every industry does this, right? As vague as you cannot use numbers again, right? And it was like that kind of level of ridiculous. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it did not get signed at all. I never did that. I was like, we can't be doing this, dog. So I was fine, but I don't know. The fact that they even put it in front of me, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? I don't know. Lots of non-unionized voice acting is hurt by this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Blazing said the problem with them is there's often no consideration beyond, we will pay you for time worked. Like, duh, but what do I get in exchange for not being able to work in the industry for 5 years? Yeah, they're crazy, right? The amount of time, too. There are a lot of NDAs. Okay, there's some NDAs where they say you cannot talk about the nature of these things, you can't disparage or whatever until a certain number of years have passed after your termination of this contract or your ending, right? There are also some that are forever NDAs. You can never say XYZ. Never. Which, if it's worded very specifically, essentially saying you can't talk shit, but you can say things that are true, all right, it's fine. But if they're like, you can never talk about anything ever, forever, what? Right? Some of them get crazy. You had one from 10 years ago that doesn't expire and it was a cool project too. Yeah, I have some from some past work that I had to sign them. Forever NDAs, can't talk about some things forever. That's it. Done. Can never talk about it. Easy, done. And not just you can't disparage, you can't say anything mean, you can't complain. You can't talk about this. Done. Right? And I'm like, okay. All right. You're under a non-expiring NDA for a company that you had already signed an NDA under. It was the GEEGA NDA. Yeah, right. Mine was like multi-layered too, some of the stuff I had. Oh, it was crazy. But at the same time, it was stuff that I never cared to talk about, so whatever. It's fine. Your gossiping ass would not be able to handle those. I've kept true to it, man. I've kept true to it. That's it. When my own friends ask me some stuff about my past work, I'll just be like, right? Numbers, am I right? Like, who'd you work for? Oh, people. So many people. Everywhere. Lots of people. Crazy. Anyway, this roast chicken is excellent, Sarah, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, not even to my own mother. Can't do it, man. NDAs make job interviews super fun. Can you describe your last project? Nope. That's always the hardest part. So what was your role in this project? I cannot say. Okay. What sort of things, what was the project for? What did you make? I cannot say. That's it. Boom, that's your job interview. NDA, sorry. Yeah. How did you learn these things on that project? Why? Can't say. It's just like, it's tough. That's why you make a portfolio. So you have things you can talk about that are right there, that are in front of you, and you can show to someone and go, look, I can do this and I can talk about it. You know? That's why you need it, man. Especially when the NDA is covered under the NDA. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You were on NDA, in your NDA project when interviewing a Twitch, and they said, can we see some code reviews you've submitted? And you said no. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, this person said they're a fantastic way to explain gaps in employment. Yes. Oh, dude, someone says, well, why didn't you have anything quoted for these 2 years? NDA. Boom, done. You never have to explain it. What happens if you break an NDA? Is it like you just get heavy fines? It depends on what's in the NDA. Depends on what they say they can do. They could seek, it depends on what the NDA is about. A lot of the time they can seek damages, right? Maybe the stuff that you say that was covered, maybe it was proprietary information that, you know, this company had made something and it was their big secret, and knowledge of this is containing all of the edge that they have in their market. And if other people find out about this thing, now they've cracked the code. Now that company loses all of their edge, right? Edge just being advantage that they have over other people in the same industry because they have better technology or they have some better knowledge or a better method, right? And just going and talking about that and telling everyone about it ruins all the work that they put in to be the first people to really understand this thing or have, you know, that edge. So the penalty will usually be really fucking huge for that, depending on what it is. The ones about proprietary tech have giga penalties. Yeah. When it's proprietary information, it's pretty bad. But when it's technology, no, you're done. You're done. Yeah, and if you break NDA, you get blacklisted. It's true. Yep. I'll never lose my edge. Yeah, it's NDAs are a good thing that you should have to protect yourself depending on what you're doing, if I'm being honest. Is NDA like a very USA type tactic? I wouldn't call it a tactic. You're making it sound like it's nefarious or bad. It is a legal thing that exists everywhere. This is not USA specific. It's used very heavily globally, but they're really important. They're really important because when you have a big company, it's very hard to control information. Even in small groups, it's hard to control information. And it's just plain important. For example, if I have an artist working on a new model for me, a new model, a new outfit, everything, they end up under NDA, which means that they can't, usually, it depends on the specific one, but I'll tell them, hey, you cannot go around and be showing the progress on this to people that I have not approved. You can't be sitting there working on my new model and go to your friend and be like, oh, I'm working on this for her, and start showing them pictures of it and leaking like everything to them, right? You can't do that. And same thing, they cannot leak it publicly. Like they can't, if I didn't say they could, then they can't work on it on stream and show people. So it would give me the ability, not sure that I would actually do this, but like it would give me the legal grounds to, if they just showed it on their stream randomly and were like, hey chat, check it out, here's her new model that she hasn't shown, and they started showing it, I could then seek damages or something, right? Because genuinely, if that shit all gets leaked, you know, and it's like months out, it's not even done, and everyone just knows what it looks like already, that's a huge amount of marketing I lose. And it legitimately ends up in losses, right? So it would give me the ability to do that. I think for like an art thing, maybe not the biggest deal, but for other industries, you can see how sometimes some of the stuff could be even worse, right? I'm just using myself as an example. But yeah, NDAs for stuff like that are important to keep your own shit protected. Because if I didn't have an NDA with an artist, and then they go start showing all of their friends, and their friends start showing other people, they screenshot and they're like, oh, look, and everyone knows what it looks like. And then I find out randomly, like a bunch of people on the internet just know, what could I even do? If I didn't have that person sign the NDA, I just have to be like, fuck, well, they screwed me over. And then what? I make a twid longer? Right? What do I do? I don't know. So stuff like that, you know, is bad. Has that ever happened for any VTubers? Oh, absolutely. I have had several people, I will never say who or anything like that, just show me things. I'm working on this for this person. And I always ask the question, did they tell you that you're allowed to show people this? Did they say you can do that? And then sometimes they go, oh, right? And they're like, oh. And I go, yeah, don't show me that. I hope you didn't show anyone that. I hope you don't show anyone else that. I hope you don't tell me any more information. You shouldn't even tell me that you're working on this. And I just try to, you know, say that, because even if that's someone that I like, that I think is great, I'm still gonna be like, don't fucking do this, buddy. Right? Like, no. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I know from people talking that I shouldn't know about other people, about how some things work, because people are just, you know, some of them are really good at keeping information close to themselves. Some are really bad at it. That's just how it is. But it's also dangerous because there are people who telephone information, right? So there's also a lot of stuff that I've heard that I have no idea if it's true. So I try to not take it at face value. If I hear something about someone else or about anything, I will wait until I experience it myself a lot of the time, because I just don't know. I can't confirm, right? But there's a lot of stuff that I do know for a fact, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't be telling me this. I shouldn't know this. No, thank you. Right? And yeah, that's the other thing too. So if that person's under NDA and they break it and they tell me, I'm not under NDA with whatever situation that is. So I can spread it with no consequence. And that's why it's so important that a person who has signed an NDA follow it. Because you know, that those people that are like the second and third people that find out about stuff, just they have nothing legally holding them down to that info. However they obtained it, and it's not their fault, right? So it gets a little messy. Is it weird for an artist to have a perpetual NDA for their artwork? A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh artwork is unattributed. Perpetual NDA? Usually the NDA would just be while you're working on it, before the person who's commissioning it chooses to release it however they release it. You can't talk about it or show it. It's usually just like that and nothing else. Perpetual, I don't know, man. That's why you tell everyone a slightly different story. Tracing. Oh, dude. I've had some back end things happen where at some point I've been unsure of who's telling people XYZ things. Another friend is like, oh, someone's telling everyone this thing and I don't know how it leaked. And I was like, hey, it's really simple. Everyone you talk to about it, you give them one different factoid. Right? And then whatever story spreads, you know who said it. There have been times where someone has seen like random Twitter accounts that have no following, nothing, clearly like alt accounts, say some random shit in some replies, and they're like, how did this account know this? Who is this? And I'm like, brother, just if you just told them something specific, you'd know exactly who it is, right? And we've found some sources of leaks and things of like, you know, a billion things that way. There's some people that I just, you know, have like quietly stopped talking to and never told them why, and it's because of that. Straight up, I'll be honest, it's because of that, because we traced something and I'm like, okay, well, can't tell this person shit, right? What can you even do? And it's not too hard to do that. It's not too hard to, like, you know, drop little different bits of info. So they do for game alpha releases as well as movie review copies. Yeah, right? They change little things in it. So if they see a certain version hit, like, you know, someone illegally uploads something to YouTube and they're like, this movie's out, they could tell by which version it is, where it came from. So they know they don't know how it got there, but they know how it initially left the circle it was supposed to be in, right? And who to blame for that, at least. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. You know what we do with leakers. I just stopped talking to them. There's some people that I really like, but I know I can't tell them anything important like that. So I'll still talk to them, of course, because they're nice, but I won't tell them what I'm working on. I won't show them something that I'm doing. I won't tell them anything that I don't want just getting out because I know who talks, right? But you can still be friends with these people and enjoy them because a lot of the time when this stuff happens, they're not being malicious about it. Most people, this is how information spreads. Person with the info where the source person says a thing to their friend, to friend A. I trust you, I'm telling you this. Okay. Friend A has very close friend B that they're super close with. They say this to friend B. I trust you, I know you won't tell anyone this. Friend B has super close friend C. This is my close friend. I know they're not going to tell anyone. They tell friend C. It's always like that. It's well-intentioned, and they truly have tricked themselves into thinking that this shit won't get anywhere, but it does. It does. You know, it really does. It really does. So if someone says, don't tell anyone this, I legitimately won't tell anyone. I won't go to my other closer friend and be like, hey, guess what? I won't do that. Because I know I don't want people to do that to me, right? So you gotta be careful, man. I think like 9 times out of 10, it's not malicious at all. People just talk. They just talk. They don't mean to. They don't mean to be the source of that ever, but they do. They do it. Death, thank you for the sub. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, some people that just have a big mouth. It's exactly. They really don't. They're not trying to do anything bad with it. They're not. So at the end of the day, when I'm working on something new or whatever, I tell or I show 3 people at most. I'm working on one project right now I've told no one about. No one at all. Not my own members. Nothing. No one. Only one person sits there and talks to me about it. 2, actually. It is my manager and then one person that's working on it with me. That's it. Done. Done. And you know, it'll get shown eventually, so like people need to know early. Not even Boris. Not even. Spill Maze 2.0 leaks. I've had those in my DMs for months, baby. She shows me everything. I give advice too. She'll be like, I'm working on this thing. I want to make this work like this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, I think you should do it this way. I show her everything. She's one of the people that I will say I am comfortable, so long as I'm not under NDA, telling her literally anything. May won't tell anyone. No leaks. And that's one of the reasons why I've been able to keep her as such a close friend for so long, honestly. Because the number of people that leak shit is too damn high. And again, they don't mean to, so it doesn't make me hate them. But it just means that I can't tell them everything. But for her, I've never had to worry about that, ever. And her for me, vice versa, so. It's always been good. Not yet. If she hasn't done it by now and I haven't done it by now, not a fucking chance, dude. We've known each other for years now. And we show each other everything. Everything. Everything at all. Someone telling you something they shouldn't and you warn them shouldn't tell anyone else that. That's what I was saying before. Once someone tells you something that they shouldn't, you know they're probably going to tell it to like 2 more people. Or they probably said it to one other person who's going to tell a person. There's just no way. No way. I don't know, man. I, at the end of the day, have also just over time enjoyed more not telling friends about things and then they find out later, because then it's still a surprise for them and the surprise is exciting, right? So it used to be that like every VTuber that was mildly friends with each other would show every VTuber they were mildly friends with everything that they were working on. Here's my new model, here's who's making it, here's how the rigging is looking so far. They'd get in VC and calls and start moving around and be like, do you like the way the mouth moves? What do you think about that? And they'd just start doing that all the time. And everyone would know what everyone's new shit looked like before it hit stream. And that's cool, but I also like just being part of the crowd, even if it's a friend of mine. If it's a really close friend, I want to see it first if we're super close. But if it's not a super close friend, I would rather they just keep it, because I also want that excitement of sitting there and watching their stream and seeing their new shit, right? Like, if I've seen everyone's stuff all the time forever before it's released, then, like, it's hard to have fun with that, right? So, I like what a lot of friends will do instead is will ask, do you want to see it or do you want to keep it a secret? Or send it with like a spoiler, a spoiler tag on the image and go, hey, working on the new thing. If you want me to delete it, let me know. Right? But I also at the same time do appreciate seeing it because some people will ask my thoughts, right? And if they want thoughts, hey, is this good? Should I change anything? Then I really want to see it because I really want to help. So, in Vshojo, you guys show each other tidbits and not the full thing, right? Depends on the person. There are times where people have released stuff that I've never seen. There are other times where people have released stuff that I've seen for months before that. Usually, we just have a chat. We have a chat that is just upcoming stuff. And we talk about or post upcoming stuff if we feel like it. So, there are times I've posted entire new things in there. There are times I've said nothing. Because I want them to have the surprise. But like Henya's newest thing, Mel's Halloween model, stuff like that, I'd already seen it. I had already seen it, man. Ad about to start, by the way, in a minute. We'll take a break during that. What did you say? Did you see the model Mata got for the subathon before it was released? Yeah, she showed me the sketches many months prior. Many months, or not the sketches, like a colored in version, not fully rendered. A colored in version. I got to see it like well before. And she told me the vibe. I liked it. Yeah, sometimes you gotta surprise your friends. Yeah, because, you know, when it's your close friend, it kind of sometimes sucks a little bit to not be one of the people sitting there feeling that excitement, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, anyway, ad is starting. While that's going, let me read out some thank yous. Death from Before, thank you for the 5 months. Tom7, thank you for 12 months, an entire year. Hold on. Phoenix, thank you for the 31 months. Jesus. Blondie for 7 months. Sam said thank you for the fresh prime. Welcome on, Ian. Welcome on, Ian. I'm scrolling. Oh my god, it's just flooded with dailies. Dailies everywhere. Elevator Doors, thank you for the 23 months. Chrono Striker for 16. Titanium Turtle, thank you for gifting a sub to Housemaster. I appreciate that always. Always. Daisuke, thank you for the 26 months. And thank you for the 500 bits joke man earlier. There we go. We should be caught up. Also, what is with these two people telling each other? I won't even say it. Is this bot to bot communication? Who knows? Surprised Vshojo doesn't have a brand risk like certified VTuber leaker candy. No, people have always joked about certain people leaking, but they really haven't. If you knew how much stuff was kept behind doors, you would not think that they leaked much at all, if I'm being honest. But all right. Ads are now going. I was thinking of adding, what do you guys think of this? Some people have made these widgets that will do a countdown to the next ad. It'll show it on the screen, right? It'll show it somewhere in the top right, and it will say ad incoming. You know, a little tiny information ticker, and it tells you how many seconds. It'll say, 30-second countdown or whatever, so you know when an ad is going to show up. So what it does is it takes the people who cannot see my ad manager, which is all of you. It lets you know when that's showing up. And then especially if you're a person who would see the ads, right? Because someone's like unsubscribed, they get that sort of notif that it's coming up. And it only pops up when that's about to happen. It's very small. I was thinking about potentially trying out one of those. Because then it also cues us all in like, you know, oh, it's break time. We've only been here for an hour, so I'm not going to get up and do a full, like, you know, refill my water and all that break, because I don't need that, but I will for the next one. But it's a thought. It's a thought. Demon, thank you for the 27 months. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. A widget where Boris pukes out the ads. Realistically, I could have him just be the one announcing everything, right? I've thought about that. I actually have thought about, I like a more slimmed down UI though, if I'm being honest. So when I'm playing games and stuff, I want to get, there's one person I already contacted about it. I wanted to get a little thing that is a little nameplate. So picture this. Okay, here, I'll paint the picture. Let's set the scene. I'm here, okay, I'm playing a game, and there's a bar this small, right? Low opacity, everything. And it has a little rotator. It says my Twitch username. And then occasionally it rotates in my YouTube username with a YouTube symbol. And then that goes away, and then it rotates in my Twitter username, right? And it just slowly rotates that and has it up there for 10 seconds, let's say. And that's on the left side or the middle or somewhere. And then on one side, it has like a spot where if someone gifts something or resubs, their name will pop up and then go away. So all of my alerts when I'm gaming get compacted to like a little boop, little something, right? And then let's say I were playing a game where the bottom right UI is really important. I could move myself up here, and I could move that thing there, and I could have it be like that, and then cut off your view of anything below it. Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? You getting the picture? Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was my thought. Something really compact like that would be nice. Or you know, some facecam streamers have a webcam border. They have an overlay over their webcam where when someone resubs, the border will do a little thing or something like that. It's very inoffensive. It's very small. And I kind of like that. Can you have it scroll with all the schools in my county closed due to snow? Oh my god. If it just went and rotated through weather in like every US city. I want to do weather so bad. I want to do the weather. NL's is magic and he rarely uses it. I know, he never does. He never does. He doesn't use his overlays at all. Ray has something like that below his webcam. That's very... It's very OG Twitch streamer coded, I feel like. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways to make that kind of work for a VTuber. I've seen some people do it. I think Kanae has one. Let me see. I don't know if his is reactive though. I can't remember. Let me look. Let me look. Was his reactive? I know his could be, but I don't remember if he... Yeah, I think his just rotates his socials. I want one that would actually be the spot where like alerts would show up. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe I won't get one. Who knows? But I was talking to someone who designed stuff like that, and we were discussing, right, what we could do to compact it. It doesn't even have to be on me. It could be like up at the top of the chat or the bottom of the chat. I could make it match the chat and have it right next to it anytime. I could have Boris hold it, right? Doesn't matter. We can figure it out. Run a bunch of nonsense headlines at the bottom like a news station. I could... I could make it so that there's a ticker going at the bottom like that. And what you can do is you can pay a certain number of bits to add a string to it. That's it. A certain number of bits in a message, and it'll just add it to the scrolling ticker. Because you can do that, right? If I have text here, I say news ticker. If I do that, you can add a scroll to it really easily. Watch. I'm going to go to filters. I'm going to add an effect filter. I'm going to add a scroll. Horizontal speed. Boom. It's that easy. I literally did it in 2 seconds, right? So, new sticker, yippee, wee, yay. I can make it longer. right? So imagine you have a black bar at the bottom, and then you just extend that all the way out, and then you could just let people constantly add to it. That could go really poorly, depending, but you know, it could also be great. So I'm just saying, 10 times speed, yeah. So you throw up. Can you have Texas do traffic and Newt do the sports? Fuck it, we're a news channel. I genuinely would love to run a normal ass news channel. But it's the thing is we on this channel we stay so far away from certain like real world events that we can only talk about it vaguely or not at all, or we can only talk about stuff that isn't that, which means it would actually turn into the good news. And we would end up be sitting around. we would sit around, dude, and we would be like, so what happened? So we'd be like, my cat had babies. And I'd be like, yeah. That would be it. We talk about weather and cool shit. Internet news, but only nice stuff. What if that's the oh, yeah, GEEGA's good news. GGN. I like that. How about the news but good? TNBG network. The news but good. And that is the segment. And we only talk about good stuff. Someone gets like horrifically canceled, but we only talk about the silver lining. You know, at least this happened. It'd be so nice. It'd be so nice. You see the Game Awards nominees? I did not. Wait, let's look at them. I've been seeing people post about it on Twitter, but I didn't look at the actual nominees. Somewhat less stressful news. I like that. I like that a lot. John Krasinski made 6 good news videos and made a couple million from it. Well, I'm not that hopeful, but that's great. Okay, let's see. Game Award. Yeah, he's famous, though. Exactly. He's famous. It's very different if I do it. I'm not gonna say no one cares, but I'm not like, hey guys, it's Danny DeVito here, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not a household name like that. Okay, Game Awards nominees. You ready for this? We're gonna do a light mode flashbang. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, cover your fucking eyes. Oh! My God, it's tiny. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let's cut off some of that edge. Can you even read that? Hold on, I'll move myself. Yep. Okay. So we got, all right, Game of the Year. Astrobot. Kind of figured that'd be on there. Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. This is the DLC. FF7 Rebirth, Metaphor, ReFantazio. I saw some people say this, and I agree with this. I don't think DLC should be up for Game of the Year. I think it was excellent, incredible, great. No, this is not the official page. But I don't think it should. Yeah, it should have its own category. Because I think they should just be up for Game of the Year when they're released as a game. I think DLC having its own category or something would be good. I don't think it should be on there. That being said, if it was released as like Elden Ring 2 Shadow of the Erdtree, I'd be like, hell yeah, brother. But yeah, I was gonna say, right, a game like Elden Ring, they could just keep releasing DLC and keep getting nominated. I don't think that should be there. And yeah, I think remakes, I think a remake is also a little weird to put on here because a remake already has a fan base, right? That's the difference. Is it a fully new game as far as how it was made? Yes, Rebirth was. But FF7 has a huge fucking fan base. So many people are going to come here and vote for it because they're like, I love when Aerith and Cloud kiss and make out in a video game. And they're just going to vote for it because they love it. Right? And they've loved it since they were 12. So, I don't think it should be on there either. I'm going to vote for Balatro, personally. Best game direction. And it's the same exact list. It's the same list. I think Wukong or Astrobot should get this. I think Balatro is really good, but it doesn't have anything cinematic, so it's hard to want to choose it for this. But if you're talking about game direction as in how it plays, yeah, Balatro. Balatro is one of those games people are putting thousands of hours into, and you know, just saying. But I honestly, yeah, I think Wukong should probably get this one. Best adaptation: Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, Tomb Raider. I mean, it has to be Arcane. There are things I hate about Arcane, even though I like the show overall. I'm just gonna still say it should be Arcane. It's definitely the best made. We gotta stop with Manic Pixie Dream Girls. That's all I'm saying. Best narrative: Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Metaphors on there. Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2. Personally, Metaphor or Infinite Wealth, I think should get either one of those. If I'm picking. I think FF7 doesn't really have that great of a narrative. I don't think it ever did. I think it was not bad, but not better than these. Silent Hill 2, you already know my thoughts on it. Is Infinite Wealth a new game or is that DLC? New game. Like a Dragon is the name of the series. It's basically calling it Yakuza. They changed it to Like a Dragon. Yeah, I think maybe Metaphor should take this. If not, then Infinite Wealth. Best art direction. I want to pick Astrobot for that because I have a deep love for things like that. But also, if we're allowing DLC, I would say Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree was solid. Never. You think Neva should get it? Not my favorite, but that's just my personal thought. It was really well done, but I like Astrobot. I don't know. Best score and music. Stellar Blade was actually pretty incredible. I think Metaphor, maybe. That's tough. Rebirth had great music. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Metaphor for this one. 100%. Best audio design. Oh. I will say Black Ops 6 sounds fantastic. Okay. Sitting around and playing it, it is insanely well done. They've always done well with that, though. That's always been one of their things, right? Is let's make sure that when you're sitting there and you put your headset on, you feel like you're there. I honestly would give this to Black Ops 6. All of these did well, but yeah. Best performance? Oh, I don't have any particular thought on this other than I really hate Life is Strange. Let's give it to Brianna White. I don't know. Innovation in accessibility. I didn't play Outlaws. I didn't play Lost Crown. I think Diablo 4 did really well with this. Personally. Dragon Age the Veilguard, I don't know what they did as far as accessibility personally. But I do know some friends that needed accessibility options in different ways for Diablo 4. And they had a really, really, really good experience with it. So I would say that. But I just don't know what they did for accessibility for this game. But I didn't Yeah, I wish they listed what they did. Exactly. Like, I'd have to go into the settings and check to know. But I would say Diablo 4. Games for Impact. This was never the category for me, if I'm being honest. Because a lot of these games, I tend to not like a lot of things about them because they focus so hard on their message that they end up being bad games sometimes. Some of them are still good games. That's cool. This is probably going to be our vote because it was still good, right? But a lot of the time, when they make games and they put them in this category, it sucks because usually the message is good and I have no problem with the message and the idea of it, but they end up making shit games to portray the message sometimes because that's what their focus is. Where the people in the studio are all writers and they don't really have many people who are good at the whole game design part, and it just falls flat. And that's why people always look at these and they go, I don't know these. I don't know what these are, right? Yeah, good message, bad execution half the time, right? So, I don't know. Never really been the one for me. Best ongoing game. Fortnite. Okay, look. I think Diablo 4 has gotten better. When it first released, excellent, and then you get to endgame, and I was like, ew, not really much. Over time, it's gotten better. I think a lot of people have already fallen off, so they're not giving it another chance, though, so that kind of sucks. 14? We should probably just pick 14 here, if I'm going to be honest. 14 has been fucking murdering everyone this whole time. Right? Just quietly murdering everyone. Fortnite has always done well. No problems with Fortnite, and they're doing super, super well right now. Helldivers 2? People fell off of it. So I'm going to say it should be 14 or Fortnite. To be honest. If I'm being real. Dota 2. Best community support. Ooh. I think we should give this to Baldur's Gate 3. I think Baldur's Gate should get that. I think the amount of community it built up around itself was insane. If that's what this is about, you know, like it should go to them, to be honest. No Man's Sky did do well too, but if I had to pick one, I think they did even better. Helldivers still is like 30k players daily. No, it still does well. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Baldur's Gate for that one. Best indie game. Ooh. I mean, I think Balatro should win it. I still have to play Animal Well, though I've seen some people go through it, and it is absolutely my type of game. UFO 50 is also on the list. But, yeah, I was going to say UFO 50 is a bunch of different games together. So it's kind of crazy. I think a lot of these on here deserve it. I was going to play this too, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, because Annapurna published it, and rip Annapurna, but everything that they had published, I always would play for the most part, because they had really good taste. I don't know. I think I'd be happy with almost any of these. Doing it, if I'm being honest. If I'm being totally honest. Best debut indie game. Now, this what this means, for those who don't know, means it's the first game that this studio has made, or this dev has made. It is the debut of the group of people. Doesn't mean the individuals haven't made more games before, but like, hey, these people have gotten together, we're making a thing, here's our first thing, right? Ooh, Pacific Drive is on here. That'd be a good one. I was thinking of playing that on stream at some point too. These are all good. The Plucky Squire was good. However, I think it was too simplistic and too juvenile, and I enjoyed it a lot anyway. But it was... If you think a Nintendo Mario game is simplistic and juvenile, this was even more. It was trying to be so wholesome that it lacked humor. Too plucky, right? And it was just not really bad, but just a little over that threshold for me, which is why I didn't finish it on stream. I liked it, but I said, you know what, this is just gonna be a lot more of the same shit, and I'm good. So I wouldn't give it to them, though it was really good. Pacific Drive, Balatro, Animal Well. I think one of those should get it. I don't know which. Best mobile game, better go to Balatro. I don't care about the rest of these the way I care about Balatro. Easy. VR AR game, I don't know anything about these except for Metal Hellsinger because I know the base game, not the VR version. So I can't comment. Best action game. I want to give it to Wukong. The game was fun as fuck. And it looked like a Souls-like, but it played a little more like a standard action game, which I feel like we needed more of. I really liked it. Yeah, Stellar Blade's a little bit weird on here. Black Ops 6. One of those missions was absolute cinema. The rest of them were pretty normal. Very standard for Call of Duty. Helldivers 2 was good, but I would vote for it if it had a really good story mode. So I would say Wukong should get it. Action adventure game. Ooh. I've yet to play Echoes of Wisdom, but I want to. Echoes of Wisdom or Astrobot should probably be the ones that get it. Everyone said that this game was really good. The other three, meh. Meh. Best RPG? Dragon's Dogma 2 is good. Again, DLC, so you know I feel on that. Yeah, I think Infinite Wealth or Metaphor should get it. That's tough because a lot of them are incredible. You guys all really liked Metaphor, huh? Yeah. I think Metaphor should get it, if I'm being honest, but Like a Dragon would be good too. Best fighting game. It should go to Tekken 8. I think the MVC collection was really cool, but I think Tekken 8 should get it. Hands down. It grew so much this year, so I'm just saying. Best family game. Ooh. Okay, strike this one off. Strike Plucky Squire off. The other four would all be great. They would all be great. Plucky Squire was a great game, but it was not as great as these, if I'm being honest. Princess Peach Showtime kind of fucked. That game kind of fucked, if I'm being honest. Super Mario Party makes sense because this is multiplayer, so when you think family game, yes, you play this with the family. Astrobot and Echoes of Wisdom, you're playing solo. So, you know, it's a little hard to compare them. Oh, look, Beverly's still trying to talk. I think Astrobot or Echoes of Wisdom should maybe get it, but they'd all be fine. Simmer strategy game. Oh, man. Frostpunk 2 was really good, but it wasn't the first game. It wasn't the first one. I think Unicorn Overlord was insanely good. Insanely good. And a bit slept on. It's very deep. It's a bit overcooked, but not in a bad way. If you like something like a Fire Emblem style game, imagine if each unit was its own set of units, okay? And within that set of units, you give them a kind of spacing and way that they're setting up like a formation and everything. It was a bit deeper, but I really liked it. I really liked it. So personally, I'm going to say this because I really liked it. You don't like that they keep combining sim and strategy? Me too. It should be separate. There are a lot of simulators that come out that are totally different and would never be strategy, so I don't know. Frostpunk 2 was still good. Age of Mythology didn't play this one. Best sports or racing? I don't like sports games. I'm not really into them. Hard to say anything, but F124! Bat chest. Best multiplayer. Part of me wants to say Tekken 8 because of the community that came up around it, but it's also a 1v1 fighting game, and it's hard for me to call that best multiplayer versus just playing a game that you play together a bit more. I don't know. Honestly, Super Mario Party. Or Helldivers 2. Most anticipated game. Okay, well... I think GTA 6 is going to win it because people want GTA 6. For me, personally, Prime 4 and Wilds are the ones for me. It's so hard to pick between the two. I want both so badly. So badly. It's two of my most favorite IPs. I think Wilds could win it. I don't think Prime 4 will win it. I don't think there are enough Metroid Prime sickos in this world. I'm a Metroid Prime sicko, okay? I'll go crazy over it, but I don't think enough people like it that much to, you know. You know what I mean? Because the first two games were on GameCube, which was one of the least sold consoles for Nintendo, so a lot of people didn't even play the OG, even though those games were incredible, like genuinely incredible. I don't think people got to play it, so I don't think it would win. Wilds, there were so many people that played World, and I think it has a good chance to have people going for it. GTA 6 is GTA 6, just GTA has a huge fandom, so whatever. Death Stranding 2, I think some people might be really anticipating, but not enough to beat that one out, I don't think. We'll see. When was last Prime released? They did a collection more recently, but the Wii, an early Wii game, was the third game in the series, so it's been a bit. Content Creator of the Year. Oh, no way! You know who I'm voting for. My queen, Queso. No, I'm just kidding. Pecора's on here. Let's go. Oh, I think Queso and Pecora are my top two on this list. I think both of them. I want to pick both. It's hard to not pick her because she's a VTuber. And looking at how she streams and everything, how she's done everything, it makes me want to vote for her. If there weren't a VTuber on this list, I would pick Queso. Because Queso's fucking amazing as a streamer. He's fucking incredible. Every clip I've seen of the dude, funny. Every stream I've watched, I'm sitting there just staring, right? So I hope that either of them wins it. Those are my top two. The other three, all great. But I don't like them the way I like Queso and Pecora, right? Her being JP only, it's impressive to get on here. I mean, she basically has all of the JP audience, right? So many people watch her. And it's like how so many people who are Brazilian, so many watch Selbit to the point where he was able to start being known to more EN streamers because he was just so popular in Brazil that they were like, we can't ignore this guy, right? Similar kind of thing with her, right? She's got so much of that going on that people at some point need to stop only looking at the West, is what I'm saying, in English-speaking communities. It's nice to see. I like it for the Streamer Awards. They have an entire category for international streamer too, to focus on these people that are not English speaking. It's nice. It's nice. But I wish there were more of that. Because those markets are huge, man. Best esports game? What the hell is Mobile Legends Bang Bang? What is Mobile Legends Bang Bang? What is that? I don't know what that is. Well, I like League of Legends. I think Dota 2 is cool, but I like League of Legends. So I'm picking League of Legends. I don't like Counter-Strike, and I don't like Valorant. So, it's huge in Asia. Oh, makes sense. Phone game. Okay. Well, I'm picking League of Legends. Best esports athlete. Ooh. Okay. I cannot not pick Faker. Not just because of his name and who he is, blah, 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 and who he has been, but because even this year alone, if he's just showed up out of nowhere this year, I'd still pick him because he's been having an incredible year. He's been amazing. So, you know, I can't not pick him. It's Faker. Best esports team. Oh. I love how they put the best esports team as its own. Yeah, I'm gonna pick T1. I'm gonna pick their league team. Oh, that's it. I'm just picking them. All right. I mean, I think my takeaway from the Game Awards here is that we need to stop putting DLC on the list. We need to stop putting DLC on the list because it's that and remakes because they have a really huge fan base already. I do think if you had a second game in a series, you could still put it on there. Yes, it still has the fan base thing, but it's a standalone thing, and plenty of fans will play it and go, "It's not like the first one. I don't like it." They have that chance, but I don't know, an entire DLC and a remake, A DLC category would be good, but how many games have incredible DLC besides a few per year? Right? Instead of there being 20 that all deserve it, and then you whittle it down to the top 5, there would be 3 that really deserve it and 2 that are okay. So the category itself would end up being a little lame, I think. I don't know. Or an update category. Updates, patches, and DLC. Yeah. Could do that sort of thing. I don't know. I just think it's I just think the whole new game being put up next to a DLC should maybe not be in there. Ah, yes. What's the haps?
Ooh. The general recently picked up Slay the Princess again. What else? Vshojo Nova is launching soon. Boris looks dapper, well that's no surprise, and oh my glorp, they hit the Pentagon.
No! No!
It's me. I hit the funny shape.
I like this one. I like this one. What if we did have glorp news? I need... Who would... Okay. Who would be best to voice glorp? If we had real glorp news, who should voice glorp? Garrick, Cab, Samuel L. Jackson, Vinny. Kermoto. Walnut? Oh, Walnut would be so good. Cab would go crazy. Nico would be really good. Joe Pesci. Dredd, no. Dredd's too Canadian to be glorp. Viggy and his scuffed ass Mike. No, be nice to his mic. Be nice. Glorp news, Kermoto style. I'm gonna send it to him. Sending it to him right now. I asked if we had glorp on for a news segment.
Ryan with a voice changer. Glorp.
Oh, wait, actually, just like that would be good. And then you guys tell me the news. And I just react. There we go. Glorp news, Kermoto style. Interesting. Not a bad idea. Freaking love Kermoto style. I'm glad I've already infected your brains with it. I'm very glad.